What's going on, everyone? So, Lakers are going to have to figure some stuff out. Probably going to have to look at guys that you weren't looked at prior to being down 3-1. Look, desperate times call for desperate measures. Lakers are going to have to figure out and navigate this series. And, now every game is win or go home. Every game you either are eliminated in Cancun or you live to fight another day. I do think the Lakers win Game 5. I do. I think the Lakers will win Game 5, and then I think Game 6 is where they'll probably get eliminated. I do think if they force a Game 7, I think the Lakers win. I trust LeBron and Luka to win one game, right? But then the problem is like you're probably so exhausted and so tired that you're probably cooked in the next round. But I do trust LeBron and Luka just one game, like them going off and giving us 100 combined, right? It's just like everyone else just play defense. Me and LeBron got this type thing, or me and Luka got this type thing. But one of the guys that I kind of want to talk about is Markieff Morris, right? Now, look, I don't think Markieff Morris is like the savior, and it's like, oh man, Markieff, he's the guy that. But I do think he's a guy that could be a bit of a difference maker. I don't know if it would be enough to actually win the series, but Markieff Morris does a couple things for the Lakers, right? One, his ability to stretch the floor and knock down the three ball. Two, he's a veteran that's not going to play outside of his role, that's going to do the dirty work, make the hustle plays, right? He's a guy that you can trust, right? He's not going to try to play outside of his realm or anything like that. But more than anything, he's 6'9", big, strong, and physical, and not afraid of a squabble, right? We need those guys right now. We do. We need a guy like that right now. We need a guy that we can, deploy out there that can just bang with the big boys and match up and go up against Rudy Gobert and do all those things, right? Because Jackson Hayes is essentially unplayable. Jackson Hayes, you can't rely on. I don't think he's going to see the court, if at all, going forward. All right. And so, yes, now you're playing a lot more of Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith, Jared Vanderbilt, Jordan Goodwin, guys like that. But you also want to maintain the size. I wouldn't mind throwing him out there and just giving him a look. Right? I know a lot of people want, a Dalton Connect, right? The thing about Dalton Connect is he's statistically our worst defensive player by every metric. On top of him being our worst defensive player, right? Unless he just shoots the lights out, he's essentially going to be unplayable out there. He's going to hurt us. Where I think at least Markieff Morris gives you that size, that rebounding, a bit of floor spacing, that veteran experience. Just a guy that you can throw out there that is going to be able to handle the physicality. That's the other thing. Right, is Dalton Connect going to be able to handle the physicality? I'm not saying don't try to play Connect or don't try to play anybody. I think at this point, try anybody. Try Shake Milton if you have to. Maybe Shake Milton can go and give you 20 a game, right? Randomly, and you win that game, right? But the reason I look at a Markieff Morris is because, again, he's a guy that has experience, has been there, has played off of Luka, has played off of LeBron, so he has familiarity, understands them, but it's just more about his size, strength, and physicality, right? To me, it's more he's a guy that can come in and play the 4, play the 5, play the 3, right? He's a guy that I do think can be a bit of a difference maker. I don't think he's a guy that's oh, that's it, Lakers are, that was it. That was the piece. Lakers should have done that from day one, right? And I'm not talking about starting him. I'm not even talking about playing him 30 minutes or anything like that. I'm talking about just simply having him out there, maybe in the Jackson Hayes minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, right? Just allow him to stretch the floor, give you another big body, get, LeBron rest for, 3 or 4 minutes, right? Just give him a little rest. So you look at this season. Now, he's only played 8 games for the Lakers, averaging 15.5 minutes per game. But, again, he's a guy that in that time has averaged, 5.5 points per game. He's averaged 5.5 points. 2 rebounds, 2 assists, half a steal, and half a block in 15 and a half minutes in 8 games for the Lakers. Right? That's good. That's fine. Right? That's not crazy. You look at with Dallas, 7 games, averaged 6 minutes. Right? Gave you 2 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Right? If we go to his per 36, right, which again doesn't tell you everything, right? But kind of gives you an idea of like what he could bring. He'd be a 13.5. He'd be basically a 13, 5, and 5 guy with, half a steal, half a block. Like, I don't hate that. I think that help. That something that could definitely help the Lakers, right? But again, obviously, look, he's probably not taking many shots, if any. So you're just hoping, like, can he, if he gets 3 shots, can he hit 1 or 2 of them, right? Like, it's more so to me about just giving you that toughness, that strength, that physicality on the interior, right? Give you a guy that is, again, 6'8", 6'9", that has the physicality, that isn't shy, isn't going to avoid contact, is going to be able to hold his own on the interior, bang with the big boys, whether that's Rudy Gobert or a Julius Randle or whatever thing, right? Again, he's 6'9", 245. That sounds pretty good to me, right? Gives you a legit sizable forward that you can just deploy. Again, I'm not expecting him to go out there and be a 15, 5, and 5 guy, but he's a guy that, again, knows and understands and can play his role. And like I mentioned, sometimes you need to just kind of, let's throw some darts on the dartboard and see which ones stick, right? Take a handful, just kind of throw them all on the dartboard and see which ones stick. It's kind of where we're at right now if you're the Lakers, right? I don't mind throwing Dalton Connect out there, throwing Markieff Morris out there, throw Shake Milton out there if you want to. Right? But the reason I like the idea of Markieff Morris is, again, his veteranness, his size, his physicality, but also he's a guy that could give guys rest. Like Doe can now rest for, 7 minutes, right? Vando can rest for a few minutes, right? LeBron can rest for a few minutes because now you can just replace those guys who have that size with another guy that has those size and another guy that isn't going to mess up. He's going to buy in. He's going to give 110%. He's going to lock down. He's going to be focused. He's going to do the little things that matter. So I think it's worth a look. I don't think that they do it. I don't think that he sees the court at all. I don't think he's going to play for the Lakers. I don't, maybe, in garbage time or something like that. But outside of that, I don't think he'll play any significant minutes. But I like the idea of just like, hey, let's give it a shot. Right? Like, what do you have to lose at this point? Down 3 games to 1. Right? Like, worst case, you lose your 4th game and you go home. Right? Probably coming either way. Right? So why not? Again, maybe Markieff Morris goes out there and he hits a big shot. Right? That could be the difference. Like, if he can just hold his own in the minutes that he's out there, however many minutes that is, let's say, call it 10 minutes. If in 10 minutes he can just hold his own out there, then he's done more than half the guys on this roster. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? If you have any thoughts, you agree with me, disagree with me, kind of mixed in the middle. Either way, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.